Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with me, Ralf Friedrichs. Today is going to be an extra long topic, and it kind of hits home for a lot of reasons, but more importantly because I have a lot of friends that come out and talk to me about their loved ones that have alcohol and drug issues and how do they approach them. Also because my wife's a friend just came to me with a situation within our own family where there is some sort of addiction and a major denial. So I want to cover these maybe 10 pages as quickly as I can today. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-485-2741. That's 516-485-2741. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. You can find him on the webs, online at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis is an addiction recovery coach. He is a life coach with over 30 years experience. If you need help, whether it's for yourself, family member, loved one, friend, with addiction and recovery issues, give him a call at 516-485-2741. That's 516-485-2741. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Tell him you heard about him on the Take Your Life Back Today show. GlobalEyeglasses.com. They are focused on saving you money, and money they will focus on saving you. If you need progressives, transitions, regular line bifocals, photochromatics, polarization, high index, which is a thinner lens, anti-reflecting coating, it's all available at GlobalEyeglasses.com. All you need to do is log on to their website, take a look to see what they have. They have over 1,200 different frames. Folks, I know this company very well. Over 100 or so people in my audience have already come to me knowing that I have over 30 years also experience in the optometry business. So not only am I an addiction recovery coach, but I can also help you with your eyeglasses. I will make sure that I fit you with the proper frame and lenses, but you need to reach out to me at 631-599-0218. Go to globaleyeglasses.com. They are focused on saving you money. Folks, let's dive right into this. Do you have an adult family member or friend with a drug or alcohol problem? You're probably wondering, how can you help this particular friend or loved one? Here are 7 answers to questions you might be asking yourself daily or weekly. How can I tell if I'm overreacting to substance abuse problem within my family or my friend? If you are noticing problems in a friend or family's members' work, health, family, finances, relationship, social functioning, legal issues, self-esteem, or self-respect, you are not overreacting, folks. If you notice any of these, if you're noticing work issues, health issues, family issues, finance issues, relationship issues, social functioning issues, legal issues, self-esteem issues, and self-respect, you are not overreacting. Continue to use substances in spite of the fact that such behavior is causing problems is a problem in itself. It shows that substance use has become more important than problems it causes. Someone who is unwilling to discuss the issue or consider whether there might be a problem is a strong indicator that the problem exists. Some actions you, as the loved one, as the family member, can take. Read about the signs and symptoms of the substance use. Observe the person's behavior closely over a period of days or weeks to understand what leads you to think that there is a problem. This information will be good to have if you decide to talk with other family members about the situation. Seek advice from a professional or speak directly with the person. But don't feel you need an exhaustive picture of the problem before. Share your observations with other family members and friends to determine how they see the situation themselves, to make sure that you all are on the same page. If they agree there is a problem, figure out who will talk to the person about getting help. Contact a substance abuse professional, mental health professional, a doctor, an employee assistant professional, guidance counselor, clergy, or helping professional to help you. Contact a person like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. He is an addiction/life coach. Contact him at 516-485-2741. Describe your family member's substance use pattern to see whether the professional would deem it to be a problem. Let them make the judgment call. Provide details such as the type of alcohol or drugs that a family member or loved one is utilizing, how much the person is using daily, how often, how long the pattern has continued, negative consequences, and the person's response to discussions or confrontation about substance use. Let the professional know all these things. Ensure that you and other family members are safe from potential physical or emotional harm due to your loved one or your family members or your friends' drug and or alcohol addiction. If there is a threat or feat of physical violence, you should develop a safety plan. Number 2, what are the benefits of early identification and action? Movies, books, and magazines often portray people who hit rock bottom before they can be helped. However, this representation is a myth. People do not need to bottom out to be helped. Research shows that early identification of the problem is a much more effective solution than substance use patterns. Early identification happens at the first signs of the problem, before anyone has suffered a traumatic event, dropped out of school, or lost important relationships, jobs, or health or self-respect. Identification can be done through screening by a healthcare professional. What happens after screening depends on the results of the tests. Some people can learn to cut back, while some need further assessment and possible treatment. In general, though, all people are better equipped to work in recovery if their substance use problem is discovered and confronted at its earliest stage. I always talk about rock bottom. Rock bottom is the ultimate last resort. If you can either nip it for yourself or nip it in the bud for anyone around you, earlier than rock bottom, so be it, it is better. Treatment in the early stages of substance use disorder is likely to be less intense, less disruptive, and cause less anxiety when caught early. Waiting for people to ask for help is a risky strategy. Without help, family members can expect crises like arrest, medical emergencies, job loss, public embarrassment, and the worst scenario, even death. Also, as untreated problems continue, family members develop their own issues. Partners of people who have substance use problems can suffer greatly, sometimes just as bad as the addicted. Common signs include headaches, backaches, digestive problems, depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. Children of substance users can experience school behavior problems and poor academic performances, and are more likely to become substance abusers themselves. Go back to always talk about role model. Let's see, where were we? It is not easy to live with someone who is using mind-altering substances. Taking steps to begin treatment and recovery can be a painful but effective process, but it is the only path that holds promise for something better tomorrow. As long as family members deny that there is a problem, the problem will progress, and so will the suffering within the family. Start by getting help for yourself. Restore your own emotional stability and bring new direction and meaning to your life. You will be better equipped to deflect crises and arguments and shift interactions with your impaired friend or family member. Getting help for yourself may seem counterintuitive, but it's crucial so you can better cope with the problems that emerge and effectively overcome the obstacles to wellness and recovery from your loved one. Some people find when they seek help for themselves that the person with the substance use problems gets angry, perhaps because the efforts represent loss of control. Also, getting help signals that you are serious about changing the situation at hand. Some people threaten those seeking help to stop their efforts. Remain firm in your resolve to go forward and be aware of your personal safety every single day. It's never too soon or for the substance user to seek help, for you or the substance seeker? How can I bring the subject with the substance user? Will the discussion make the situation worse? How do you speak to the addicted about their addiction? People often worry that initiating a discussion with the person with the problem will lead him or her to take drastic steps. They might make a scene in front of other family members, move out of the house, drop out of school, secretly drink, or use other drugs even more, and hide it from everyone who are totally against it. However, you might find that conversation to be a wonderfully productive experience. Perhaps the person simply hasn't noticed the behavior changes, or doesn't realize that his or her substance use was a problem or causing problems. And without change, the problems may become so severe that the same drastic outcomes could result. Following a few guidelines will help you have a discussion. Don't bring up the subject when the person is under the influence of drugs and alcohol. When the people are high, they are less able to understand logic and more likely to be impatient, dismissive, angry, and blaming. Some people have poor impulse control and may act irrationally or violently if the subject is brought up while he or she is under the influence, folks. Don't be under the influence of substance yourself when you want to bring this subject up. Counterproductive. Establish a time to talk when the two of you can move to have more than a few minutes alone. Your goal is to have a dialogue, a two-way conversation in which you can state your concerns and understand the person's perception of the situation. Ask if you can set time to speak in the next few days to discuss something on your mind, somewhere quiet. If the person responds by saying, "Now is fine," tell them that you prefer to set the time aside and not be interrupted. When you meet, tell your family member that you care for him or her. Emphasize that it's this concern for their well-being that has led you to have this conversation with him or her. List the behaviors you've observed. What have you noticed? Let the addicted know. State that you are worried about the effect drinking or drug use is having and express concern about the continued use by them. Create a two-way dialogue so the person doesn't feel lectured or badgered. Use open-ended questions. If the person states that there is definitely not a problem, ask to talk again at some point in the future. Your goal is not to convince the person that there is a problem, but to let them know that you believe there is one and that your belief is based on their actions. Don't try to speculate, explore motives, or judge. It can sidetrack you from the main point. Don't expect a dramatic shift in thinking or behavior right away. This conversation may be the first time the person has thought about this problem at all, not realizing what their situation is. Keep in mind that there is no quick fix. Prepare yourself for a long haul. If the problem has only happened over a short period of time or has not reached a severe stage yet, it is possible that the adult you care about could successfully cut back on the use of drugs and alcohol. If the person has not tried cutting back, you could suggest a strategy as a first step in recovery. Some people in the risky or abuse stages of substance abuse, or even in the early stages of addiction, are able to cut back consistently and use only minimal amounts in the future to come. How do I help someone understand that he or she has a problem? Friends and family members may feel they are constantly express concerns about a loved one's substance use, but never see any changes. You may have reached this point after weeks or months of giving lectures. Making threats, ignoring behaviors, accepting promises of change, giving second chances, or imposing consequences. Experts recommend developing a consistent, positive message. We care about you and we want you to get help. Define the substance use as a problem for you and others who care about the person. Avoid blaming, arguing, and reproaching, and expect denial, distortion, avoidance, rationalization, and intellectualization of the problem. Perhaps a friend or another family member, doctor, clergy, boss, or co-worker, or other significant person might be able to have an effective discussion. Or maybe the substance user would respond to activities you can do together, such as reviewing brochures or videos, meeting with a professional, or going to self-help, smart recovery, or 12-step program. These are do's and don'ts. As you continue to try to talk to the person in need of help, please remember these important details. Don't try to talk when either one of you is under the influence, no matter what. Do protect yourself and others around you from physical harm. Do call police if there is violence. Do set limits that will protect your home, your finances, and relationships, and stick to those limits. And if you are at your wit's end, you might consider a formal intervention. Number 5, how do I help someone who may need treatment? Mention the word treatment in relation to substance abuse, and many people think of long-term residential facilities or detox. In fact, treatment includes both of these options and a variety of others. Treatment addresses the individual's physical, psychological, and emotional social conditions. Sustained reduction in alcohol or other drug use and sustained increase in personal health and social function are the primary goals you are setting. The type of treatment is based on the severity of the problem. For risky users, treatment can be as simple as screening and a brief intervention. For people exhibiting signs of dependence or addiction, a screening will probably lead to a referral for more intense level of care. All treatment starts with a screening, which is a series of questions about the amount and frequency of alcohol, other drug use, and the consequence it may be causing. Screening can be done by many types of professionals, including the doctor, in a hospital or in an office, a nurse, a clinical social worker, or a licensed substance abuse counselor. Folks, number 6. How do I help someone who needs treatment? Formal treatment takes many forms, and no one type of treatment is best for everyone. There are many roads to recovery. You may think you need to choose just the right program for your family member, and if you don't, treatment will fail. But experts believe that any number of programs can lead to success if a person is willing to accept help from others and invest energy in working on recovery. A doctor or another healthcare professional can also help you choose where someone should go for treatment. To find treatment programs, just go to visit online. It's called SAM HSA Substance Abuse Treatment Facility Locator. It's Sam Shah. SAM HSA Substance Abuse Treatment Locator. Number 7, what should I do in an alcohol or drug emergency? This is important, people. Listen up, please. Does your loved one have any of the following signs? If so, call 911 or other emergency services now. Is there a sign of lost consciousness after taking drugs? If there's that sign, call 911 now. Is there a sign became unconscious after drinking alcohol, especially if 5 or more drinks were consumed in a short period of time? Call 911. Had a seizure? Call 911. Had been drinking and is seriously considering suicide? Again, call 911. Has a history of heavy drinking and severe withdrawal symptoms such as confusion and severe trembling? Are the hands shaking? Severe withdrawal symptoms such as delirium tremens can cause death. Folks, if you see any of these, you need to call 911 right now. The 7 questions, once more real quick. How can I tell if overreacting to substance abuse is a problem? How can you tell if you're overreacting? If you're noticing problems in family or friends, members, work, health, family, finances, relationships, social functioning, legal issues, self-esteem, or self-respect, you're not overreacting. Question number 2 was, what are the benefits of early identification and action? Movies and books always say that a person, including myself, I always say when you hit rock bottom, you're ready. But folks, the realistic thing about the rock bottom is the ultimate last resort. If you can nip it in the bud earlier by being concerned and loved, showing love to your loved one, it is better to nip it in the bud earlier, because rock bottom sometimes can be too late if drastic things happen. Question number 3 was, how can I bring up the subject with the substance user? Will the discussion make the situation worse? People often worry that initiating a discussion with a person with the problem will lead him or her to take drastic steps. They might make a scene in front of other family members, move out of the house, drop out of school, secretly drink, or use other drugs and hide it from everyone to not to get that subject to be brought up. Following the few guidelines will help you with the discussion. Don't bring up the subject when the person is under the influence. Don't bring up the subject when you are under the influence. Establish a time to talk when the two of you can be alone somewhere for a few minutes. List the behaviors you have observed your loved one to have. If the person states that there is definitely not a problem, ask to talk to them again on another date. Don't try to speculate, explore motives, or judge. That can sidetrack the whole discussion. Don't expect a dramatic shift in thinking or behavior right away. And keep in mind that there is no quick fix to the problem. Question number 4, how do I help someone understand that he or she has a problem? Friends and family members may feel that they are constantly express concerns about the loved one substance use but never see any changes. You may have reached a point after weeks or months of giving lectures, making threats, which you should never do anyway, ignoring behaviors, accepting promises of change, giving second chances, or opposing consequences. Experts, listen up now, experts recommend developing and repeating a consistent positive message. Johnny, we care about you and we want you to get help. Be positive. Everything comes down in life, including this, to be positive. As you continue to try to talk to the person in need of help, please remember these important details. Don't try to talk to the person if you're under the influence. Do protect yourself and others around you from physical harm. Do call police if there is violence. Question number 5, how do I help someone who may need treatment? Mention the word treatment and people get nervous. The type of treatment is based on the severity of the problem. For risky users, treatment can be simple as screening, but all treatments start with screening. Go see your doctor, go see a nurse, go see people like Larry Geis, the addiction recovery. Let him help you screen. Get in contact with me, I can help you screen. It's basically all screening starts with some simple questions. Number 6, how do I help someone who needs treatment? Formal treatment takes many forms. No one type of treatment is best for everyone. There are many roads to recovery. You may think you need to choose the right program for your family member, and if you don't, the treatment will fail. But experts, listen, experts believe that any number of programs can lead to success. If the person is willing to accept help from others and invest energy in working on recovery, anything is possible. Last but not least, what should I do in an alcohol or drug emergency? Does your loved one have any of the following signs? If so, call 911. Lost consciousness after taking drugs? If so, call 911. Became unconscious after drinking alcohol, especially 5 or more drinks? If so, call 911. Had a seizure? If so, call 911. Had been drinking and is seriously considering suicide? If so, call 911. Has a history of heavy drinking and severe withdrawal symptoms such as confusion, severe trembling. Severe withdrawal symptoms such as delirium tremens can cause death. Folks, do not wait. I hope that you all enjoyed I shouldn't say enjoy, found this to be very informative. I certainly hope that all my friends that come to me from all parts of the country and the world that seek help and information from me, and I bring that information and help to other people with more experience than me, that I hope that you found this to be informative. And I want you all to know that a sober today, I promise you, give me 24 hours of sobriety today, I promise you, you will have a better tomorrow. And you have to remember that all steps, including all these steps that you and I just talked about, all steps, all changes in life happen with very small steps at a time, baby steps. But when you start thinking positive, you will see positive results and positive things will happen in your life. Folks, teach your children early about drugs and alcohol, how it's totally unacceptable, and just to teach them to say no to all drugs and alcohol. Folks, I hope to God each and every one of you has the best day of your life, but more importantly, and I pray this, I hope to God that each and every one of you has a sober day today, and may God bless you.